Enemies in Rome are dangerous.
They say I walk like a king, talk like a king.
Huge congrats on this series. I've watched all 10 episodes. It's like the television equivalent of a page turner. It's so entertaining.
So much.
You guys are fantastic in it. I feel like I want the show. I really want the show to catch on, and when it does, I feel like Google searches are going to sort of skyrocket in terms of like how historically accurate was it, especially with the depiction of the Flavian dynasty, especially Domitian, maybe. But how do you guys characterize how much of this is sort of fact versus fiction?
I mean, Domitian he's got a lot written about him. He's got a hell of a lot written about him. And what's interesting is after he was assassinated, everyone hated him, essentially, or at least the Senate hated him, and they happen to be the people writing the history books. So honestly, there's a little bit of what was going on historically with Domitian is a bit murky anyway. But what there is written about him is truly mad, to be honest with you. A lot of it is pretty crazy stuff. I guess that's a big part of finding the character is like, how did a boy growing up in ancient Rome get to be this quite unusual figure?
Well, you guys play the sons of royalty on screen, but also in real life too, with Sir Anthony Hopkins as your pops. I mean, how much of a career highlight was this for each of you? And what is a day like on set with Sir Anthony these days?
Career highlight for sure. I mean, it's one of those things that just will live long with me. You know, it feels almost ludicrous for me to go, you know, because Anthony's this. We all know what Anthony is. He's his presence across cinema and across like pop culture of all kind of elements. He's such a powerhouse of an actor and an incredible man. I think that's the thing that I took away from it. You know, when you meet the man that he is, and truly, and he's so kind and humble and engaging and fun and generous. It was just a gift, man. It was an amazing time, and I think back on it very, very fondly. It was a real joy to work with him.
I think I learned so much being around. You know, an actor of that caliber is a treat, to say the least. I mean, I guess a day on set with Anthony Hopkins is a very, very fun day. Is the answer to that? There's a lot of playing. There's a lot of joking around. It's definitely still having a lot of fun, from at least what I could see. I mean, there's a great feeling after filming a day on set with Anthony Hopkins, coming back and being like, that was really fun. I had a really great time. Yeah. There's even better is getting to the end of the day and being like, I think Anthony Hopkins just had a really nice time. Well,
this is more historically accurate, as we discussed, but I feel like this show is probably inevitably going to draw a lot of comparisons to something like Game of Thrones, as that's become sort of the gold standard for this sort of genre of epic swords and sandals on television, right? It's probably a good thing. Is that fair, though? Do you guys sort of welcome those comparisons? Do you see those comparisons?
Don't tell Iwan this, but I haven't seen it.
Oh, yeah?
I haven't either. I was about to say, I've never watched one episode. Yeah,
but if you're saying it's the gold standard, then I'd be compared to it.
Yeah. Good thing.
I was going to say, surely that's a question for you, Anne. You know, that's for him. But I've never seen Game of Thrones, so it's hard for me to draw that comparison. You know, but also with this show, I guess we're viewing it from the inside out. You know, we're there making it. It's hard to get that objectivity. It's nice to hear you say that you enjoyed it, man. I think what was amazing for me, and I've heard Joe kind of echo similar, is going onto the sets in Rome and looking at the Colosseum that's been built, and it's a real build, you know, and Circus Maximus is a real build, and the scale of that, and the kind of the bravery of the technological side in terms of the cinematography and what we were able to do there, and what Roland brought to that, and his vision for it. And I think that leads me to the point. Roland, you know, we've all grown up watching his work and his ability to harness such grand scale, but give it a real heart. And that's always been a thrill to watch from afar. And it was a real thrill to be a part of. And I think hopefully people enjoy that. In terms of comparisons, particularly with Game of Thrones that I haven't seen, it's hard for me to draw any, man.
Well, again, it was a thrill to watch this series, guys. Huge congrats. You're both fantastic in it. And it's good to talk to you today.